What's up, you guys? 11 Collects here, and today I'm doing a review of the X-Men Gambit figure. I've just finished the Venom Pool wave, so I've got a few sort of not any part specific wave. I mean, sort of not, some of them are, but they're not waves. So I'm doing the whole wave of just a few smaller figures. So I'm doing this one, Red Skull, MODOK, and then I'm gonna do some MCU figures, and yeah, sort of phase that before I do the Disney Plus wave, and yeah, I'm gonna do the Infinity Saga wave. So yeah, anyway, here's the figure. Looking really nice in the packaging. We get that X-Men logo there, Gambit written underneath. On the top we get another X-Men logo. Gambit in the figure looking really nice. Can't wait to get this open. Picture of the character on the side looking really cool. Read up on the back, picture as well as the rest of the wave. So yeah, let's get this open. Yeah, just wanted to mention I'm not doing the whole wave. I'm just doing this figure. This is, I think, quite an old wave. I don't see any of these figures for sale anymore. I got this figure about a couple months ago, maybe 3 months ago, but even then these figures weren't for sale still. There's only this one. But yeah, it doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece, and I really wanted a Gambit, and I knew there was a in the blister card style packaging Gambit, but I just wanted to get this one. So in terms of accessories for this figure, we do actually get some with this figure. First we get his classic bow staff looking really nice, with the notches in it. Has got that on it, which is just from the moulding, which is slightly annoying, but I'll probably just file it off. Also it is slightly bent, as you can see, at some angles like that, but yeah, that shouldn't be too much of an issue, and I'll also just fix it probably. But yeah, I do like how this looks, but I mean, it's kind of hard to get wrong. So yeah, next is this sort of playing card where he's using his powers to, how does he, I'm not sure how you describe it, but you know, obviously he makes them glow and then he throws them and they explode. So that's this card is doing. He's got a hand that is designed to hold this, and yeah, I do really like that. I like the colour, like the look of it. Yeah, it's really nice. Secondly, we get this alternate hand. This is left hand, and this looks really amazing to me. The whole sort of, you get this sort of like swiping effect to the right with the 3 cards coming off of it. I just think this looks really cool. It reminds me of the Endgame Ronin figure, which came with the hand like that with the throwing stars, and I really like that. And this is obviously very similar. Also kind of like the Death Dealer from the Shang-Chi wave as well. So yeah, this does look really cool, and I really can't wait to pose him with this. So here is Gambit himself, all out of the packaging and looking pretty nice. Moving on, his coat looks really nice. Sculpted detail in it does look really nice. It's got lots of sort of weathering, you know, little scratches everywhere. Obviously intentional in the mould. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. Makes a really realistic, weathered look. Obviously got the stitching and everything sculpted in as well there, which I think looks really cool. Down on the arms, they're not the same sort of plastic. They're sort of solid plastic, obviously. And then the hands look pretty cool. We do get those sort of gloves he wears with the missing fingers in certain points, and the index and the pinky and the thumb. And they do look pretty cool. A bit of paint. I'm not sure if that's, it looks accidental paint coming on the top, or maybe in the black down there. But yeah, that sort of looks a bit odd because the, you know what I mean, as you can see, it sticks out a bit up there, but it's not too much of an issue. So yeah, the gloves, not too much detail on them. There, as you can see, he's got his sculpted finger detail on the black bit, which, you know, up close you can tell it's not actually a glove, but you know, obviously in pictures, for example, like then you're not really going to notice it. So moving on to the inside, you get this sort of, I'm not sure what you call it, the piece sort of around on his chest, in this nice blue with all the scratches on it and everything. Looks really nice. This metallic sort of purple around the body, on the torso, looks really cool. Turns around the back and everything. Obviously because it's moulded, but I just meant, you know, that. But yeah, not too many issues with marbling, although you can sort of see it is the type of plastic that could marble, as there's a few bits, but not really full marbling. Down onto the belt / waist, we get the black piece, but then we do get this blue and purple paint on there, and painted all down the back nicely. And then moving down to the legs, you get these black legs on the thighs. We get this nice purple lines down there that do extend onto the joining piece there. And I think this looks really nice. Not any issues with the paint. And we do get a purple pin there, but you know, what can you do? Can't wait till we start getting more and more pinless figures. But yeah, here we go onto the calf and knee, and yeah, we do get these knee pads that I do think look really cool, and all the sort of, I guess they're supposed to be really tall boots, and yeah, these do look really cool with the, I'm not sure what you call it, so it's sort of like a sort of metal robotic sort of pattern, you know, kind of like what Colossus has, but obviously they're boots. But yeah, they do look really cool and they do fit with the aesthetic of the figure really well. In terms of his bow staff, it just slots into this hand here, obviously, and yeah, that does look really good. I can't wait to get him posing with that. There's so many options for posing with this bow staff. Like I said before, he does have a specific hand for the card piece, and it does just slot in there, and it does fit pretty snugly, so you shouldn't have too many issues with it falling out. Yeah, and I do think that looks really good. I've heard some people say that they have issues with some issues, like they're not awful, but they just say they don't really like it when companies do this sort of thing where they give you sort of, you have to have it that way. As in, I get how they see it here is in this hand is really only made for this, and this piece is only made for this hand, and they don't give you another, well, they do give you an alternate hand, but there's no effects, so they don't give you another plain hand, so they kind of have to give you this effect. But personally, I really like stuff like that. I really do think it adds more to the sort of figure, and you don't have to customize it at all, it did just fall off. But yeah, I really do think that stuff like that is really nice to have on a figure. And in terms of the sort of effect itself, I do think it looks really cool, you know, super gambit, classic gambit, and I do think it looks super awesome. Now this hand, the throwing card hand, does replace this hand. As you can see, just take it off, although it is a bit stuck in there. As you can see, it's just the coat hand, and you just grab it, plug it in. This one isn't hinged, whereas I believe the others are. Yeah, they are. And there on this hand, looking really cool. As you can see, this effect piece just looks super awesome. It's quite big, hard to film on the camera, but yeah, it does just look really awesome, and it's going to make so many poses and displays just look super cool with this piece. And yeah, you see the 3 cards coming out, and a sort of line around here to say, you know, he's gone like that with his hand to spread them out, which I do think looks really cool. It comes out the fingers really well. The paint is sort of blended into the fingers really nicely. On the other side, there is a bit of missing black paint on the tips, but luckily this side is alright. And then yeah, the rest of the paint on this hand looks nice, which is good because, as you can see, if I take it back off, the hand is moulded in this purple plastic. So all the hand is painted on top of this translucent purple plastic, which is quite nice. See, there isn't too many issues. Obviously, there is an issue on the palm there, but it's not too bad. And as you can see, the tips, but you know, on that side, everything looks good, so I'm quite happy with it. So in terms of articulation, the head moves back that far. I don't think it might be slightly hindered by the collar piece of the coat, but I'm not sure if it's that much. You still get a pretty decent look up from it, and it looks down that far. In terms of swivel, it is hinged by the coat, so you can go out that far before you are going to hit the coat, and that far on that side. You can sort of push it past, but you will likely get some paint rub on the hood, the collar, which you probably don't want, as that won't look great. And in terms of the arms, you go up that high. I always show both sides because sometimes they have issues on one side, so showing both will get you the most accurate answer of how high the arms go. So you know, yeah, pretty decent. They go all the way around. We get the bicep swivel. We get a single jointed elbow, which is just quite disappointing. I believe that is bent the right way. There we go. As you can see, the problem is with these single jointed elbows is that looks right, but I mean, you see that and you don't exactly think there's anything wrong with that. That looks fine, but that is the wrong way around, as you can see. But I wouldn't be surprised if you saw my review of the Marvel Legends Thanos figure, not the MCU, but the regular, just carded comic Thanos. The single joint elbows did bend about that far. It was ridiculous, but we do get a bit more range of movement. Obviously, not nearly as much as we would get with a double jointed elbow. But I mean, what can you do? It would be quite hard to do with keeping the sort of coat, the trench coat aesthetic, as doing a double joint does take away from that. In terms of the hands, we do get the full wrist swivel, hinges forward, although I believe this one might not. This one hinges the other way, but it is a bit hindered by the sleeves on the trench coat. You can see it hinges the other way. I hadn't actually noticed that yet. This one hinges the right way as I imagined, and you can do sort of that, which I mean that would be kind of cool if you want to do a custom sort of a magic character, because that does sort of look like a magic spell. You could have one of these effects pieces on it. But yeah, it hinges down that far. Like I said before, this one doesn't have a hinge on it. Down here you get a full waist swivel, but yeah, it is a bit, I'm not sure how often you actually use it because of the coat. It can sort of look slightly odd, although yeah. Anyway, the ab crunches forward. This is when the cloak starts to look very odd. But yeah, it crunches forward that far, and then I'm trying to crunch it back. So it crunches back a bit, but obviously because this coat is heavily hindered. But yeah, like I was saying, unless he's facing a massive gust of wind, him bending forward like that, it's going to be quite difficult. And I guess you could try and hair dry around it, and then obviously you get it stuck like that. Yeah, that's annoying. But again, cloth trench coats on this sort of scale figure never work out, so that's the best we're going to get so far. In terms of legs coming out, we get it out that far, not really hindered much by the coat. I'll make it forward that far and backward about that far, and then we get the thigh swivel, we get the double jointed knee, we get the calf slash boot swivel, hinges move forward that far, backwards that far, and an ankle pivot on the feet. So yeah, the articulation on this figure is pretty nice. Obviously hindered a bit here and there by this big trench coat, but overall for the figure with the trench coat, I do think the articulation is definitely acceptable. I'm not sure exactly what comic or version this is based off of, but it does seem pretty familiar, and I do like the design. First note, these legs are quite stiff, but yeah, this is actually the first time I've got the figure in hand, because I do like to do these reviews pretty authentically as my first impressions, and then later on in the video I do some sort of later on impressions. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I do think this looks quite nice. The design is pretty cool, got the purple and the black and everything, and the nice trench coat. Personally, I've never been a massive fan of figures with trench coats because of that sort of thing. It's just a lot of the poses look a bit odd because it is just a solid, fairly solid piece of plastic. But obviously, it often can't be avoided, especially with Gambit, as it is a pretty staple part of his character. And yeah, in closer detail, that hair looks pretty nice. You get the brown hair with the black sort of dry brushing or dry washing inside. And I do think that makes a really nice effect for the figure. In terms of the face sculpt, I think that does look pretty, really good Gambit. We get the whole sort of mask design with the ears poking out, and then the shape around the face. I'm not sure what type of mask you call that, but yeah, it does look pretty cool and pretty, it's accurate because it is supposed to be. Anyway, going close on the face, eyebrows look nice. All the paint on this face is really good. That sort of stubble around there also looks great. The eyes, if I can get it to focus, the eyes I think look really good. And they're sort of, as you can see, black with the sort of red pupil or iris in the middle, whatever. Not sure quite the technical terms. I'm not an optician, but yeah. So in terms of comparisons, here he's next to a pretty basic 6-inch Marvel Legends mold slash figure. It's also an X-Men figure, the Cyclops. Here he's next to a lot of other X-Men figures I have. We got the Cyclops again. Here we have the Tiger Stripe Wolverine, the Dark Beast, and a X-Men suit Deadpool back there. Yeah, and Wolverine is very short compared to all these figures. If you've only seen the movies, you wouldn't know this, but typically Wolverine is a very tiny man in terms of height. So yeah, he scales pretty well, and yeah, this is great for an X-Men set display. Now let's get into some posing. Yeah, overall I actually really do like this figure. I'm really happy when we get effects pieces like that. This one here and this piece here. Yeah, they really do add a lot of fun to the figure in terms of getting some really amazing looking poses without having to buy any third-party accessories or make any custom items, which personally I'm not a fan of. Yeah, I just really like this figure. It's really fun to pose around with so many options, and yeah, really happy to have this figure. So yeah, in my next review I'm going to be doing, I think, I'm trying to remember, maybe Red Skull, then MODOK, and then after that I'm going to do Winter Soldier, but the comic version, and then some Infinity Saga figures, and then the Disney Plus wave. So if you decide about any of those, stay tuned, they will be coming soon. So yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.